Something was breaking. He had gone to a chief's family in the next village and offered his eldest son in marriage to the chief's daughter. The bride wealth he promised was grand: 3 carved chests, 2 cattle, and a portion of gold beads still to come from the bird. He stood before the chief's household with the pride of a man who had forgotten where his wealth came from. He came home and declared to his wives that poverty had left their bloodline forever. The next morning, the bird laid nothing. Jelani stood over the empty nest and stared. He had checked it 3 times already. He got down on his knees and looked beneath the cage. He shook the clay dish. Nothing. Not one bead. He was still crouched there when Abani arrived to feed the bird. "What did you do?" he said. Abani looked at him steadily. "I did nothing." "The bird laid nothing this morning because of you," he said. His voice was low and tight. "You have put something on it. A medicine. A word. Whatever the old woman taught you in that forest." He stood to his full height. "Tell me what you did." "I did nothing to the bird," Abani said. "Then tell me what the old woman said to you. The full words. Everything from the forest." Abani said, "I don't know what you mean." Jelani stepped very close. "You are a widow with no land, no child, and no man," he said quietly. "The only reason you remain in this village is the patience of this family. That patience has run out." He pointed toward the village path. "By sunset, you leave this compound and you do not return." Abani looked at the bird one long moment. Then she walked out. She did not go back to her hut. There was nothing in it that she needed more than what she was walking toward. She moved through the village with her headcloth tied and her back straight, and the people who saw her watched carefully because it is impossible to look away from someone walking with that kind of quietness. She did not look angry. She did not look broken. She looked like someone who had already made peace with the next part of the road before they even reached it. At the edge of the village, where the path dissolved into the forest floor, she stopped. The forest was calm that afternoon. The birds were singing ordinary songs. She walked in. She walked the path she had walked 100 times looking for fallen wood and wild roots. Past the dry stream. Past the rock shaped like a resting woman. Past the place where the silk cotton tree stood with its wide roots. And the old woman was there. Not waiting with urgency. Not waiting with worry. Simply there, the way the forest itself is there, present and patient and ancient. "I thought you might come before they sent for you," the old woman said. She set down her walking stick. She looked at Abani carefully. "Now you will learn why the egg chose grief." The old woman led her deeper than she had ever gone. The forest changed gradually the further they walked. The trees grew taller and closer together. The ground became softer. Light came through in thin, shifting pieces, like light through old cloth. Abani had thought she knew this forest, but this part felt new, or old in a different way. The way old things feel that have been carefully hidden. They stopped in a small clearing where the grass grew high and the earth was darker than the earth around it. The old woman pointed at the ground. "Dig here." Abani used a broken branch. The soil gave way easily, as if it had been waiting. About a handspan down, her fingers touched something hard and smooth. She pulled it free and brushed the dirt away. A bracelet, copper and dark green where it had oxidized. She recognized it immediately. She had given it to her husband on the morning of their wedding. She had fastened it on his wrist herself. Her throat went very tight. "He was not found in the ravine," the old woman said softly. "He was found somewhere else, and then moved. Before the village was told. Before you were told." Abani held the bracelet in both hands. Her hands were not shaking. They were completely still. The old woman did not tell her everything that night. She told her only what Abani could hold without breaking, that the truth had a time, and that time was not yet. For now, there was something more useful than vengeance. She pointed to the roots and herbs hanging from the low branches around the clearing and began to teach. Abani had always been observant. As a young girl, she had helped her grandmother with small ailments, fevers, burns, difficult births. But what the old woman showed her was different. It was a whole language of plants, each one speaking to a different kind of suffering. Root bark for infected wounds. Press seeds for pain in the joints. A certain pale leaf. Thanks for watching Tales by Arlise. Please follow and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave a comment below if you love this story and wants to see the next part.